everyone. Welcome back to the Arizona Science Center for our early learning story time. Sorry about the delay. Even the best of us have technology issues sometimes, but my name is Emma and I'm super excited to be here today with you all to talk about something I know I really love, the moon. We're going to be reading a story called Moonshot, The Flight of Apollo 11 by Brian Floca. Let's go ahead and get started. High above, there is the moon, cold and quiet. No air, no life, but glowing in the sky. Here below, there are 3 men who clothe themselves in special clothes, who click, lock hands in heavy gloves, who click, lock heads in large round helmets. It is summer here in Florida, hot and near the sea, but now these men are dressed for colder, stranger places. They walk with stiff and awkward steps in suits not made for Earth. They have studied and practiced and trained and said goodbye to family and friends. If all goes well, they will be gone for 1 week, gone where no one has been. Their 2 small spaceships are Columbia and Eagle. They sit atop the rocket that will raise them into space. A monster of a machine. It stands 30 stories. It weighs 6 million pounds. A tower of fuel and fire, and valves and pipes and engines, too big to believe, but built to fly. The mighty, massive Saturn V. There it is. The massive rocket made to go to space. The astronauts squeeze in to Columbia's sideways seats, lying on their backs, facing towards the sky. Neil Armstrong on the left, Michael Collins on the right, Buzz Aldrin in the middle. Click, and they fasten straps. Click, and the hatch is sealed. There they wait, while the Saturn hums beneath them. Near the rocket, in launch control, and far away in Houston in mission control, there are numbers, screens, and charts, ways of watching and checking every piece of the rocket and ships, the fuel, the valves, the pipes, the engines, the beats of the astronauts' hearts. As the countdown closes, each man watching is asked the question, go, no, go, and each man watching answers back, go, go, go. Apollo 11 is go for launch. 10, 9, 8, 7. Ignition sequence started. Flames push hard against the pad. Every second pushing harder. 6, 5, 4. But still, the rocket does not rise. Mighty arms hold it steady. Hold it till the countdown's finished. 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff! The rocket is released. It rises foot by foot. It rises pound by pound. Takes a lot of fuel and power to get a rocket that size up in the air. It climbs the sky. It rides a flapping, cracking flame that shakes the air and shakes the earth and makes a mighty roar. There it goes. Up, up to the moon. Armstrong, Collins, Aldrin ride the fire and thunder, press deep in their seats, their bodies as heavy as clay. The rocket below them sheds parts as it soars. Bolts explode, engines ignite. First stage, second stage, escape tower gone. The rocket flies lighter, the rocket flies faster. In 12 minutes' time, it's 100 miles high. Then, after an orbit around the Earth, to talk with mission control, to check the course, to check the rocket and ships, the rocket's last stage fires again, pushing the astronauts on. They had to get rid of all of the extra weight to make sure that they had enough fuel and power to get them to space and the moon. When the Earth has rolled beneath and rolled behind and let the astronauts go, the Saturn's last stage opens wide and releases Columbia, which was the rocket's tip, and also Eagle, hidden until now, a strange ship, more bug than bird, a black and gold enfolded spider. Michael Collins, Columbia's pilot, turns her back around. Here it is. And locks Columbia to Eagle. Then Armstrong, Collins, Aldrin leave the last of Saturn and travel on their two small ships, joined together, flown as one. They go rushing into darkness, flying toward the moon, far away, cold and quiet, no air, no life, but glowing in the sky. There are astronauts heading to the moon. On board Columbia and Eagle, Armstrong, Collins, Aldrin unclick gloves, unclick helmets, unclick the straps that hold them down, and float inside their small ships, their home for a week. Here there is no up or down. An astronaut can spin in air and turn a floor into a wall or a ceiling into a floor. Here, on those sometimes ceilings, walls and floor, everywhere, there are straps and screens and gauges, buttons, handles, hoses, and switches, switches, switches. There are food and clothes packed into corners. There are flight plans, flashlights, pens, and cameras, and they float too. They drift from hands and pockets. That's why there's Velcro everywhere, for holding things so they stay put. Everything's flying away from our astronauts because there's no gravity in space. Here, where everything floats, it takes some skill to eat a meal. That ham salad sandwich, watch the crumbs. Soup, it comes in a bag, dry as dust. Fix the bag to the water gun, fill it, mix it, stir it up. Cream of chicken, not too bad. Better than the peanut cubes. Here, where everything floats, it takes some skill to go to sleep. There are no beds or pillows, no night or day. There is always, though, the hum of circuits, the whir of machines, the thought of where you are and the thought of where you're going. And one more thing. Here, where everything floats, everything, it takes some skill to use the toilet. It takes pipes and hoses and bags, and there's no fresh air outside the window. After a week, this small home will not smell so good. This is not why anyone wants to be an astronaut. Yeah, every task that they have to do in this spaceship is really hard because there's no gravity. Even going to the bathroom, that's why the astronauts have to do special training so they can get everything they need done without gravity. But still ahead, there is the moon. Cold and quiet. No air, no life, but glowing in the sky. Glowing and growing. It takes them in. It pulls them close. The moon is so much bigger now that they're so much closer. At the moon, Colin stays in Columbia, high above a single circling soul. Armstrong and Aldrin leave an Eagle and take it low and lower. They have just enough time and just enough fuel. They have a plan and a place to land, a chosen safe site among the craters. Now, friends and strangers in the distance, down below, stay up late, get up early, and stop as one to watch and wait. There are only maps and models to show. There is no camera that can show the landing far away. But the strange sounds there are to hear, whistles, beeps, and static, strange new words, and quick clip news of altitudes and speeds leaping across the dark between mission control and the men who are taking the Eagle to land on the moon, who are going where no one has been. Think about how cool it would have been to be one of those people at home seeing the moon landing for the very first time. Seeing people go to the moon when no one had been there before. I think that would be really cool to see. On board Eagle, Aldrin calls out information while Armstrong steers the ship. They fly low and lower, looking for their landing site. But now Eagle, they see, has flown too far. They are miles from where they mean to be, and below their small and spindly ship, they see no level place, only broken stone and rocks, only shadows and deep craters on the great and growing moon. Far from home and far from help. Still steady the astronauts fly till time and fuel are running out. Then, there, clean and flat, not too far, 60 seconds left, Armstrong fires the rockets. Eagle slows and lower goes until a spray of dust, a bloom of moon, flowers up around her, slow and slower, low and lower, landing. And far away, where friends and strangers lean to listen, where friends and strangers lean to hear, there comes a distant voice. Armstrong, calling from the moon, calm as a man who just parked a car. Houston, he says, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Armstrong is calm, but on Earth they cheer. Then Armstrong and Aldrin climb down from the Eagle in heavy gloves, in large round helmets, in suits not made for Earth. They were able to find a place to land. That's good. in suits made for the moon. Here below, all around them, cold and quiet, no air, but life. There is life on the strange and silent, magnificent moon. Armstrong and Aldrin walk its rough, wide places. They step, they hop, as light as boys, they leap. In the dust and stone beneath their feet, no seeds have ever grown, no root has ever reached. Still, secrets wait there, the story of the moon. Where did it come from? How old is it? What is it made of? Not green cheese. And up above the ash-gray plains, the sky is pitch and empty, and all the stars stay hidden. That is how bright the moon is when you are standing on its face. The moon is so bright when you're on it that you won't see any stars in the sky. Look how dark it is. But in that blank and starless sky, high above, there is the earth, rushing oceans, racing clouds, swaying fields and forests, family, friends, and strangers, everyone you've ever known, everyone you might. The good and lonely earth glowing in the sky. When their work is done, Armstrong, Collins, Aldrin fly back together from the moon, which rolls beneath, which rolls behind, letting them loose, letting them go. They fly back together through the dark with pictures, stones, and stories, with secrets of the sky, with a view of home from far away. Back to family, back to friends, to warmth, to light, to trees and blue water. Back from the moon, they land with a splash. There they are, landing back on Earth into the water. To warmth, to light, to home at last. Okay, that is our story today about the flight of Apollo 11. Before they could go to the moon, though, they had to do a lot of training down here on Earth to prepare them for that week-long flight. An amazing thing is that a lot of their training was done here in our community of Arizona. Up in northern Arizona around Flagstaff, the astronauts did a lot of their lunar rover training. They picked a spot from the moon. They looked at pictures of the moon to find the best spot to land, and then they blasted craters into a lake by Flagstaff to look exactly like the moon. From there, they could practice their moon landing and driving the lunar rover. So today, I would like us all to build our own lunar rover that we can drive around, maybe pick up some rock samples, because that's what the astronauts were doing up on the moon, picking up rock samples for geologists up in Flagstaff to analyze. So for me, I'm going to use a little pool noodle to build my lunar rover. But you can use whatever you have at home. A toilet paper roll would be great. Little rover has feet on it, so it can bounce around the moon. I'm using toothpicks because that's what I have, but you can use whatever you have. which if you're using a toilet paper roll, maybe glue or tape would work best. But I want to make sure that my rover can stand and walk around. But I also want to make sure that I can use it to pick up rock samples. So I'm personally going to take a few more pieces. Oop, just throwing things around to maybe make a little grabber. You can add whatever you'd like to your rover to make it whatever design that you would like. This is my rover. It's very important to name your rover. The one that the astronauts used for Project Apollo was named Grover. Grover is actually still in Flagstaff to this day. My rover, though, is going to be named Curiosity because every scientist should be informed by their curiosity. I would love to see what rovers you guys make. Tag us on Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media you're using so we can see the rovers that you make. And as always, feel free to check out our website, azscience.org, for more fun science videos. And remember to check back on Facebook and Instagram for more of these fun videos. Thanks, everyone!